The shadow dragon was now dead. Its huge body fell to the ground soundlessly, like the end of an era. Lu Fan held his breath for a moment. He had killed the shadow dragon in one fell swoop. A blue light pierced the darkness around him, and the status window appeared. Our Xiao Fei has obtained a new skill. Lu Fan's eyes lit up. He read the window silently, a rare shade of satisfaction forming on his lips. This was no ordinary skill. It was a shield. A defense that not only reduces damage but remains unbreakable for 5 minutes. The most shocking thing, immune to debuffs. Based on Xiao Fei's features, this skill was truly extraordinary. The biggest benefit was that there was no longer the need to repeatedly refill emerald light to resist miasma. It was like a permanent solution, a shield that not only protected, but also eliminated the dependency on energy. For this reason, this skill was extremely valuable to Xiao Fei, a boon that granted stability to both his existence and power. At that moment, Lu Fan's gaze falls on Xiao Fei. His voice is cold and steady. Release Guardian Flow. At the command, Xiao Fei activates Guardian Flow without hesitation. In an instant, a light, mysterious green energy bursts out of his body, quickly spreading out towards the entire group. As the energy touches everyone, an amazing transformation occurs. All the warriors come under the effect. Their bodies feel light, as if an invisible shield is holding them up. There is wonder in their eyes, as if they have touched a miracle. Andre was speechless for a few moments, then his eyes lit up and he whispered, "Lu Fan has found a new skill." His voice was filled with surprise, but also with hope, as if he believed for the first time that they could really get out of this darkness. Senior sister nodded with a light smile. "This skill doesn't just reduce damage," she said. "It's strengthening us from within. I can feel it as if an invisible shield has held us up." Andre spoke excitedly. "Lu Fan." He mumbled, then softly said, "Really, the mist from Shadow Island doesn't affect me anymore." His eyes welled up with tears. Now the dead shadow dragon was still lying on the ground, lifeless. But its huge body was still emitting poisonous gases at a slow rate, as if its death had not completely subsided. Senior sister looked at Lu Fan and said, "In that case, Lu Fan, we will help you gather the materials. The sacred dragon can decompose the bones of its own summons or pets and absorb them into itself. Their remaining life force, their experiences, now become part of its power. About 1% of the total attributes. A percentage that can make the difference between life and death on the battlefield." Andre looked at the dragons with deep eyes, then said in a calm voice, "It's no problem. When those 2 dragons have fully absorbed those corpses, their remaining material will become even more pure and exclusive." Senior sister was silent for a few moments. Perhaps she understood the value of that technique. "Okay, I'll go along." Her voice was firm, but Lu Fan was lost in his thoughts. There was something else going on right before his eyes. He was making a different plan in his mind. He was sure that with the help of his friends, the necessary materials would be gathered soon, so he didn't want to waste any more time worrying about that. Instead, his attention was focused on the dead dragon. Now that the bone dragon was about to swallow him, Lu Fan suddenly ordered it to stop. His voice was deep and stern. "Wait a moment." Upon hearing the order, the bone dragon immediately stopped and looked at Lu Fan in surprise. Lu Fan had a different plan in mind for the shadow dragon. He knew that the shadow dragon was indeed extremely powerful. And then, at that very moment, he took the next step, preventing the bone dragon from being absorbed. Next, he decided to turn the level 95 hidden boss into a fallen corpse puppet. As Lu Fan slowly moved his hand, a bright, glowing light burst out from his hand. The light radiated a supernatural energy, piercing the darkness around it. And the next moment, the shadow dragon's dead shadow came alive. His huge eyes glowed, as if he had returned to the depths of life again. But this time, he was not just a monster. He was now Lu Fan's slave. The shadow dragon immediately said in his heavy and resonant voice, "Master." That word carried the power of submission, the depth of respect. The shadow dragon accepted Lu Fan as his master without hesitation. A light smile spread across Lu Fan's lips. He couldn't hide the excitement rising within him. "Now I have 9 demons," he thought to himself, "the 5 national guardians, the god bone clone, and this shadow dragon general." He now had an unstoppable army, one that could challenge even 4th-level masters without hesitation. Once we have a strong fallen corpse puppet, his plan began to take shape. We will let the fallen corpse sacred dragon absorb the special powers of the 5 national guardians. Lu Fan was now completely satisfied. He slowly took out his letter, smiled at it, and said, "So let's see what reward I got for this quest." A status window suddenly opened in front of him. It read in glowing letters, "Order. Shadow Digger mission accomplished." At that moment, a magic box flew towards him and landed on the ground. The soft light emitting from the box made the atmosphere even more mysterious. The status window thanked Lu Fan and handed him a gift whose epic quality would leave anyone stunned. Lu Fan carefully opened the box. Suddenly, a scroll came out of it, the brilliance of which flashed in his eyes. Lu Fan's face lit up as he looked at the scroll. As soon as Lu Fan saw the scroll, Andre and senior sister immediately ran up to him. Andre asked curiously, "Hey brother, you received this gift. Do you think it's enough for you?" Lu Fan replied with a smile, "Yes, it's enough." Senior sister's eyes were also filled with joy. She said with a soft smile, "Lu Fan, I remember how great your spirit wings were. But reaching legendary quality, that would be a really big step up. Upgrading would definitely be a good choice." Andre looked at Lu Fan with a slightly surprised and respectful voice and said, "Brother, you really are quite lucky." Without wasting a moment, Lu Fan spread out his wings, which were previously pure white, and acknowledged senior sister's words, "Senior, you are absolutely right." Then he took the scroll in his hand and attached it to his wings. As soon as it was activated, his wings turned red and lava flames danced around them. A strong surge of warmth and energy was felt. Lu Fan understood that this upgrade was a chance to take the mobility and power of his spirit wings to a new level. Senior sister could not hold back her emotions and said with a smile, "Lu Fan, you look more handsome than ever." The effects of the magic scroll made Lu Fan feel lighter and faster. His flying ability was also greatly improved. He could now fly even faster through the air. This scroll wasn't just a normal gift, its main feature was extremely special. The power required to activate this magical scroll was 100 loving levels of the Dragon King. This was Allah's legendary quality scroll, a rare and priceless treasure in itself. The scroll's enchantment attributes were as follows: level elimination for agility, 356, strength 291, spirit 246, stamina 234 when someone wore it. All of their attributes would increase by 20% while flying. And in terms of high flight, this scroll granted the wearer extraordinary flying abilities, as well as increasing their flight speed by several times. Lu Fan smiled to himself. "Since my skills have improved now, this is a great advantage for me." He further explained his plan, then spread his wings fully and charged forward into the air. Both Xiaofei and Xiaoji were amazed at his amazing speed. Lu Fan was now flying far ahead of everyone, and as he flew, he turned back and said, "Let's head to the palace in the center of the ruined city. From there, we must find Shadow Waterfall." But then Bao Bao, who was known for his speed, angrily said, "You're flying faster than me! Do you want to compete with me?" His voice was full of challenge, and everyone's eyes were now fixed on Bao Bao and Lu Fan. As Lu Fan rose up in the air and overtook everyone, Andre pointed at him and said loudly, "Brother, wait for us too." Senior sister, who was flying behind, suddenly frowned. She felt something strange in the air. She warned everyone be alert. And then a mysterious, trembling voice echoed in the air, "Help." Lu Fan's face became serious. Who could it be? This voice is coming from an invisible source. He thought to himself, is this a magical message? But it sounds like Senior Sister's voice. Senior Sister's face was also confused. Then the voice echoed again, "Help, help, please." Andre looked around and said, "Where is this voice coming from? Is it coming from beneath the palace?" Lu Fan looked at Senior Sister. For a moment, he thought she was the one speaking. But Senior Sister looked at him in surprise and said, "Why are you guys looking at me like that? That's not my voice!" Everyone now had an unspoken curiosity on their faces. Voices were in the air, but the source was nowhere to be seen. Lu Fan decided without delay, we must get to the source of this voice. This is no ordinary call. Everyone immediately descended to the ground of the ruined city with him. This was the ancient palace of the ruined city, a forgotten place that was once the center of the 100 Islands. As they approached the silent palace, the air thickened and the voice sounded even clearer. "Can you hear me?" Everyone was stunned. It was no illusion. The call was now resonating through the air, clear, intense, and alive. Lu Fan stepped forward, but then Xiao Fei held his hand tightly. She looked at him innocently. Lu Fan looked into her eyes. There was a strange seriousness in that innocent trust. And then, a figure slowly walked out from behind the cracks in a broken wall and pillars. His face was slowly revealed in the dusty light. Old but powerful, his eyes reflected 100 years of waiting. He said in a deep voice, 300 years. Finally, the hero who has fulfilled the reward order has arrived. Then he slowly raised his hand and looked at everyone. Please, don't panic. But just as the old man finishes his words, Bao Bao, who has always been ready to fight, suddenly leaps forward. His eyes are glowing with suspicious energy. He lunges at the old man. The old man's eyes widen. He jumps back in shock and tries to hide behind the broken wall in fear. Oh no, the dragon is coming. Help, help. His voice is full of panic, as if death is staring him in the face again after years of captivity. But then, thud, a powerful punch lands on Bao Bao's face. Xiaoji pulls him back without a second thought. But Lu Fan's sharp eyes are fixed on both of them. He took a step forward, bent towards Bao Bao and said in a resonant voice, "Shut up for a while and stop causing unnecessary trouble." Bao Bao pursed his lips in anger but said nothing. The air around him became still once again. The old man was now peeking out from behind the wall. Andre looked at the old figure and frowned. As that the old ghost speaking. Senior sister scanned the surrounding area. The situation doesn't look dangerous right now, but we can't be complacent. Lu Fan took a step forward. His face was reserved, but his voice was authoritative. You were the one who called us, right? Tell me, how can we help you? Slowly, the old man came out from behind the wall. His gait was tired, but his eyes were full of history. He took a deep breath and said in a low voice, Yes, you are the hero who completed the reward order. Please forgive me for my reaction earlier. This place, now only called Ruins, was once a living island. I was a courtier of the Tianfu Empire's palace. Everyone was shocked. Andre whispered quarter. Alive for so many years. The old man bowed his head and said, in the final hour of the Tianfu Empire, he sacrificed his life to protect a divine energy source, Fu Guangquan. The old man's voice trembled. His eyes reflected the burden of 300 years. 300 years ago, he began with a choked voice. One day the sky turned dark, and a giant black dragon, cursed and full of infinite power, landed on was silent. Everyone was silent. Lu Fan's senior sister, Andre, everyone held their breath, was no ordinary demon. He was a messenger of darkness, a curse that fell upon the three kingdoms. His magic disabled the gods. He contaminated our spring, Fu Guangquan, once the source of light and life, with poisonous darkness. The old man groaned and bowed his head. That dragon corrupted my king as well. Her voice echoed, laced with pain and pleading, Hero, I beg you, free my king from this curse. Rest his soul, end the suffering of our people, and restore this wretched island, once a haven for the gods. There was silence all around. An uncomfortable silence fell over the old man's words. Everyone stood in their place. Are we the first? Andre's voice was soft, but his surprise was evident. Are we the first people to reach this place in 300 years? Senior sister nodded slowly. Her eyes were fixed on the old man, as if she couldn't ignore the truth, what he said. If it's true, then... She paused for a moment, then said, the shadow fountain we're looking for is probably hidden with this corrupt king. He's the protector of it. Andre immediately looked at Lu Fan. Brother, what are you thinking? But Lu Fan was lost in thought. His eyes were looking at the shadows of the old palace across the cracks in the broken wall. As soon as the old courtier finished speaking, the air suddenly vibrated. A crack opened in the sky, and at that moment a status window appeared in front of Lu Fan and his team. Her new quest activated mission name. Request to the Court Grandmaster Mission Area Tianfu Mission Rank S Fuss Special Disaster Category. Description 300 years ago, when storms broke the boundaries of the sea, the black dragon Maojima attacked Tianfu. Her shadow magic turned the entire island into dead land. Objectives. Defeat the Shadow Dragon King, free the restless spirits, purify the Fu Guangquan water, return the island to its original state, rewards Tianfu Island area. Lu Fan was still staring at the status window, the thought echoing in his mind. Tianfu Island will be mine now. A slight smile formed on his lips as he thought this, but at that very moment, tuk, The sound of heavy footsteps echoed on the stones. The team was alerted. Senior sister immediately prepared a magic arrow. Andre extended his shield, and Babao raised his paws in the air. The old man's scream broke through the silence of the palace. "My king is coming! My king is coming!" Lu Fan immediately turned to the direction from which a strange figure was slowly approaching. Its shadow was black and huge, and its presence caused the surrounding air to thicken. Just then, a low, resonating voice spread through every corner of the palace. "Please restore Tianfu Island, and let us rest in peace." Arsendre and Senior Sister stood up in unison. Senior Sister made a stern gesture. "It's getting close. Everyone get ready to fight." Andre clenched his fists and said, "No worries, we're close to Shadow Spring." But then his voice echoed once more. Shadow Dragon King level. 95 type Shadow Battle Dragon features miasma spreading. When the black dragon spreads miasma, it attacks. But it is impossible to see the Shadow Dragon in this state. Death punishment strikes with a giant sword, inflicting 40-90% shadow damage on the target. This attack is so deadly that the target cannot escape. Cooldown 90 seconds. Dragon Man Roar reduces enemy attributes with a Dragon Roar. Controls enemy minds using human voices. Lu Fan's eyes grew intense as he read all of this. 95 level hidden boss. "This is the biggest threat we've ever faced," he said inwardly. This Shadow King in front of him was an enemy that could be fatal to himself and his team if taken lightly. "We have to be fully prepared for every eventuality," Lu Fan said firmly. Senior Sister and Andre looked at him, seriousness evident on their faces.